It's my pleasure to be here standing with the legendary investor, Mr. Jim Rogers.
No. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, I think it's time to have a constructive conversation about the world. So I have an important question that everyone wants to know. So what's your prediction? Who will win the World Cup?
Well, that's obviously a very, very important question. I really don't know. I should ask you because you know more about football than I do. But I don't think it'll be the United States.
Yeah, so why not? That's excellent. 你们觉得谁会赢得今年的世界杯冠军呢？
No, I don't think it'll be the U.S.
No. Yeah, but I think everyone has an opinion about who's gonna win. So we'll see. Yeah.
Well, I love football, but I don't know who's going to win the World Cup.
Okay. Yeah. Since we don't have much time here, so I think we can start from something I'm curious about, because I did a review about more than tens of your interviews on the internet, and I'm quite curious about you mentioned a Chinese word called 危机, which you mentioned that is not in this Western culture. So could you elaborate on why these words expressed you so much?
Well, I've learned a lot since I've been in Asia. One of the things I've learned is the Mandarin word 危机. We do not have that word in English. We have not been around as long as the Asians have. By the way, the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Koreans all have exactly the same word. It's pronounced differently, but it's the same character. 危机, that disaster and opportunity are the same thing. You all know that. You're Asian. You've learned it all your life. So if you see a disaster, I have learned that when I see a disaster, I start thinking about, who is going to benefit from that disaster? I've told you we're going to have a huge bear market sometime in the next 2 or 3 years. Start thinking about, okay, if things collapse, somebody's going to benefit. Figure out who. Remember 危机? 危机?
Yes.
Do I say it right?
Yeah, pretty pronunciation. 危机.
危机.
Yes.
危机. Remember 危机, and then please send me an email. I want to invest too. Very smart.
Yeah. Thank you. I love that. Yeah, I guess you like to read Mark Twain, because I heard you mention about Mark Twain's quotes several times. And Mark Twain once said, history never repeats itself, but it does often rhyme. So in 2008, we know the world suffered from the financial crisis. But in 2022, there are still money printing, debts, scams, cryptocurrency, and bankruptcies everywhere. So what do you think, how we human could rebuild the trust? Trust in people, or we should trust in code? So what's the next thing?
If you can solve that problem, Ethan, if Ethan can solve the problem, how we all can build trust in people and trust in governments,
Yeah.
trust in politicians, trust in governments, and trust in people, you will save us all. You will save us all.
Okay.
The only answer I have is please do your research. Do your homework. Yes, everybody will tell you some very, very good things. Do not rely on them. Do your research. Do your own research. I try to teach my daughters every day, every week. Check, check, check. Check it yourself. Be sure what people are telling you is true. And if you do your research, and if you're prepared, you won't have a problem. You'll have problems, but they won't be as bad.
Okay, great. I'll try my best to solve the problem, but everyone here, you should prepare for yourself. Yeah, during the pandemic, I saw a lot of people, they start getting used to meeting people online, to connecting people online, and learn new things. So I know you are an advocate indicator for commodities like silver, copper, oil. So how do you value those like digital goods, avatar, and those invisible assets?
Well, first of all, I thank you for saying nice things, but I want you all to know I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. Ethan and I could sit here all night long talking about my mistakes. Many, many, many mistakes. And every time I make a mistake, I would like to blame it on other people. But I have found that all of my mistakes have been because I did not do enough research myself. If I had done more and checked more, maybe I wouldn't have made the mistakes. I would like to blame my mistakes on Ethan. No, all of my mistakes have been because I did not do enough homework. And nobody wants to have to do any work. Everybody would like to get rich quick and easy. It doesn't work that way, Ethan. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Please do your own research, check everything, and maybe you'll succeed.
Well,
I forget your question.
Well, that's it. I guess invest in yourself is always the best investment in the world, right?
Well, be careful. We're going to have difficult times in the next year or two. I've told you it's going to be the worst in my lifetime. The worst in my lifetime because there's so much debt everywhere in the world now. So please, everybody be careful. Listen to Ethan, listen to Jesse, do your research, do your own research, and you'll all be okay.
Yeah, you're going to be okay. So thank you, Mr. Jim Rogers. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's round a big applause for Mr. Jim Rogers.